Welcome to my video. Today we are going to be talking about on-page SEO. And this is from a post on our website. You can find it on our blog at tytonmedia.com. It's called Tyton's Guide to 10x Better Rankings. And in this PowerPoint, we are going to talk about on-page SEO. We're going to talk about what it is, why you need it, and we're going to go over in depth every on-page SEO ranking factor that there is currently in 2016. First, some introductions. My name is Tyler Horvath. I'm the CEO of Tyton Media. We're a full-service web agency specializing in web design, online marketing, search engine optimization, etc. These are all of our social profiles. If you want to click them and check us out, we'd love for you to follow us. So let's get started. So what is on-page SEO? Well, on-page SEO is the act of optimizing your web pages in order to make them rank higher in the search engines. And this results in more free organic traffic from Google and Bing and other search engines alike. And what on-page is referring to is your actual website. The code and the HTML and all the little tags that you need in order to have good SEO, all that is what is considered on-page SEO. Why do you need it? Well, investing in SEO is probably one of the best investments that you can make for a website. And the reason is, contrary to what most people think, you can get a ton of traffic from Google for not that hard. It's all about finding the right keywords and using these on-page SEO tactics to show Google that your website is ready to be ranked good and is formatted correctly and has all the right tags and code and whatnot. And we're going to go over all those in this highly detailed PowerPoint here. So what are all of the ranking factors for on-page SEO? There's quite a lot of them, and we're going to go through each one of them step by step in detail and show you how to implement these on your website. So there's content, there's meta tags, URLs, image optimization, heading tags, structured data, website structure, HTTPS, SSL, responsive design, internal linking, website speed, and LSI keywords. And currently in 2016, these are all of the on-page factors that you need to make sure that your website adheres to in order to give it the best chance of outranking your competitors and giving you that free, organic, targeted traffic that we love from search engines. So content. This is probably the most important on-page SEO factor that there is. Having good content on your website is what is going to shoot your website up to the first page of Google, because we're in an information age and Google loves content because it's what makes up its business. People search for content every day, searching in Google, trying to find how to change your tire or where to find this or where to find that. All those results are content that Google uses to answer its searchers' questions. So we've provided this infographic here that was created by Rand over at Moz, and it's a great overlook of all of the on-page elements that really matter that we're going to get into. So what are types of content? Well, it can be almost anything. We've listed a few here that are good types of content. You have text content, which is articles and the like. Images, videos, diagrams. You can put graphs on your site. Podcasts. Doing case studies is another great piece of content. Infographics, were very popular for a time. They're still pretty useful for making great content. But these are just some examples. There's plenty of other types of content that can get you more traffic and better rankings. The key is creating the right content that will allow your customers or potential customers to find you online. So, meta tags. Meta tags are little snippets of code that you put in the head section of the HTML of your web page, and they pretty much tell Google what your site's about. And it consists of these four main tags that you should be including on all your pages in order to increase your rankings. So first is the title tag. This tag is critical to on-page SEO, and what this tag does is it briefly and concisely explains what a web page is about. Now there's three reasons that the title tag is so important. The first reason is that browsers use this tag in order to display the title in the tab of your web browser. So if you go to a page and you look up at the top in the tab and you see the text there, that's the title tag that the webmaster or whoever had put into the website to kind of name that page. The second place that it's used is in the SERPs, in the search engine results pages. They use that as the clickable link that you see when you search for a certain term. That is the actual title tag of the website. So the reason that's so important is because this is what people see when they search for something online. So the better your title tag and the higher the CTR of that title tag, the click-through rate, the better you're going to rank, and the better Google will think that your title tag is, which will in turn allow you to rank higher. And lastly, the title tag is now being used for social media sites like Facebook, Twitter, etc. And they use that as the little snippet when you share something on Facebook, for example, like we've shown here. It uses the title tag as the title of the post on social media sites. So the important things to remember about title tags is that every single web page should have a unique title tag that's different than any other page. They should be between 50 and 60 characters in length. And the best format is to have your primary keyword, a dash, your secondary keyword, a dash, and then your brand name. This way you can get some brand recognition while also incorporating your main and secondary keyword into the title tag. So here is the format that we were talking about before, and kind of the TLDR about title tags. So next is the meta description. What this does is it provides a summary of what each page is about, and this piece is also used in both the search engine results pages as well as on social media sites. So in the SERPs, Google uses the meta description as that small text description of a site that you see when you search for a site. And it's important to remember that Google doesn't actually use meta descriptions as a ranking factor, but instead it uses the click-through rate as a ranking factor. And having a good click-through rate will increase your web page's ranking in Google. So it's very important to have a description that concisely summarizes your web page, as well as includes some of your main search keywords. Because as you can see from this top image here, Google highlights keywords in the meta description that match the searcher's keyword, which can increase the CTR just by making it stand out more in the search engines. So it's very important to have a meta description on every page that's unique, and it should be between 150 and 160 characters long. So here is a little code example that we have here of what the meta description looks like in a normal HTML page. So you can see that our meta description here is a concise 150 to 160 character description on what this page is about. And this is just an example. You wouldn't actually want to put that text in your meta description, but it just shows you the background content of the code of what it should look like on your website. So the next important tag is the canonical URL. Now this one is a little hard to say, but it's very necessary to have this tag on all of your web pages. It's pretty much what it is it's a link element that you include in the head of your HTML, just like the title tag and the meta description tag, that tells search engines the preferred version of a certain website. And the reason that you need this so much is to avoid any duplicate content issues. Google does not like duplicate content. Something that text that's the same on one page as it is on another page can really affect your rankings, especially if you're the last person to post the copied or duplicated content. You'll get pinged for that by Google. So these URLs help search engines decipher the right page to use, and it's good for blogs that have multiple pages. It can consider all those a single page if you don't have a canonical URL. E-commerce sites with product variants, websites that use both HTTP and HTTPS. It's good to tell Google what the preferred version is of that URL, whether you want it to be the secured or non-secured version. It's also good for websites that use query strings, because a query string will not change the actual URL of a page. It will just add the keyword in the text, excuse me, and the search engine will still think it's the same page. So it's very important to have these on your page, so that the search engines know which page is supposed to be what. So we have a little example here on the bottom of one of our URLs that we have, and as you can see, we prefer the HTTPS version, because as we'll tell you here in the next couple slides, having your site be HTTPS or SSL secured is another ranking factor. But we'll get there soon enough. So if you use WordPress, it's pretty easy to set these canonical URLs without having to manually enter them into your HTML. If you're using WordPress, you can download Yoast SEO. It's a really popular SEO plugin. Has some great features. I highly recommend it. Next, to go to the post that you are wanting to add this canonical URL to, and go down to the bottom to the Yoast section and click the advanced icon. That's a little gear there, and you'll see where you can enter the URL. And you want to make sure that if you do change this URL, that you also change the URL to your post as well, because both of those should match and be the same URL, or it's going to confuse search engines and give your site another ding. So that's canonical URLs. All right. So the next on-page SEO factor that we're going to talk about are URLs. The URLs of your web pages have a very strong influence on your rankings in the search engine. There's a few important things that you need to remember when creating URLs. You want to watch out for case sensitivity. Google and other search engines look at URLs, both uppercase and lowercase, as different URLs. So you want to make sure that all of your URLs, whether it's uppercase or lowercase, are all a single kind. So either go with all lowercase or all uppercase. You just need to pick one and keep it that way. We prefer just all lowercase. It's the easiest way to do it. You don't have to mess with anything. Just make everything lowercase. You should also be using hyphens instead of dashes or underscores or anything like that. Well, I guess dash would work. Same thing as hyphen. Try and not stuff keywords in your URLs. It's not pretty. It makes user experience worse, and Google knows when you're trying to beat the system. So stick to shorter URLs that have your few maybe first, second, and third most important keywords in it. You want to try and match your page title with your URL. So if your page title is on-page SEO factors, then you want your URL to be on-page SEO factors with hyphens as in spaces, all lowercase. You want to also remember to remove any stop words. This is words like and, or, but, of, the, a. These aren't keywords that you want to put in your URL. They just waste space and make it harder to find, and don't contain any actual useful keywords. You also want to watch out for punctuation. They should be completely gone out of the URL. You want to use only alphanumeric characters when it comes to creating good, short, concise, keyword-friendly URLs. We have this quote here from Matt Cutts, who says that the first 3 to 5 words in a URL that are most important are given more weight. So keep your URLs short, sweet, and descriptive. Here's some more info about URLs. This is a nice little SEO URL cheat sheet from SEO Moz that breaks down each part of your URL and some tips on how to develop a really good URL. Another reason that having your main keywords in your URL is so good is just like the meta description. Any keyword that you have in your URL that matches the searcher's keywords, they get highlighted in the Google search results, which will increase the click-through rate to your website, making you rank higher and get more organic traffic. So next we're going to talk about image optimization. There's a few different pieces that you want to look at when it comes to on-page SEO of your images. First, the images and the user experience are an important factor when it comes to optimizing your site for images and SEO. Having a good user experience is an important factor when you're trying to increase your website's rankings. Some other important pieces are the title attribute and the alt text. These are two tags that you put on the HTML and the image that describe the image, and they're very important in telling the search engine what your image is about. And then the image size itself is important as well as the file name, and we'll get more in depth with these in the slides that come. So first, the user experience. User experience and using images to break up content and spread your content out can create a lot of value for your content, as well as boost the user experience by breaking up content and making it look a little more nice and neat. If you look at this image of these two different pages here that we've made, you choose which one you would rather read. Personally, I'd rather read the one with the images that's broken up into small pieces, has a nice big image to break it up the content, and also provide more value to your content and to the page. So the file name of your image is another important piece. It's just another place that you can put your important keywords in, and using your main keywords in file names can help you rank better in Google Images as well as just the normal Google web search. So your file name should be very descriptive, and they should contain content-rich keywords about the image itself that explain the image while also using your primary, secondary keywords. Every image should have a descriptive file name that explains the image. You want to use dashes instead of using underscores. Google prefers this. You also want to use a few keywords of your page in your file name to boost your rankings a little bit and create higher density of keywords on your page. We have a little quote here at the bottom by Google, who says that the file name can give Google clues about the subject matter of the image. So try to make your file name a good description of the subject matter of the image. So the title attribute is kind of the title of the image. This doesn't have any potential SEO benefits itself, but it provides a better user experience by providing a text description of an image when you hover over it. So if you go to an image on any web page that has a title tag and you hover over it, you'll see a small description of that image. And this can actually help the user experience of your site by both providing a higher density of keywords as well as being able to explain images to people that are using your website. You also want to remember not to use the same text as your alternative text or the alt text, which we'll explain in the next slide. But we've also put some code down here of what it looks like with the title tag in the code. And if you have WordPress, then just click on your attachment or image, and you'll see on the right side here you have title, caption, alt text description. This is where you would enter in the title for if you're using WordPress. So next is the alt text. This is the most important tag on your image elements, and you should have this tag on every single image on your website. Search engines use this data to figure out what the image is actually about. Since the crawlers are text-based, they can't see the images on your web page, so the only way for them to know what the image is about is the alt text. So you want to remember to populate that for every image. Don't try and stuff a bunch of keywords in the alt text. That's not going to help you at all. A good way that we like to think about writing alt text is pretend that you're explaining the image to a blind person or someone who can't see the image. So we have a little example down here of our alt text in one of our images that says boost rankings with image SEO. So it's explaining what the image is about in somewhat of a sentence form, but also containing some of our big keywords for that page. So when you're looking at image SEO, You also want to think about image size. Creating images for your website with the lowest file size possible helps the user experience of the website by allowing the images to load faster, which in turn allows the website to load faster, or the web page to load faster, which keeps customers around and or visitors as well, and increases your time on page and dwell time, which will boost your rankings a lot. So here are some ways that you can optimize the images on your site. Number one is crop your images to the max length of your content, or width. So if your web page is 1,000 pixels across, none of your images should be higher than 1,000 pixels across, because it's not going to get any wider than that. There's no reason for your image to be that big. You can reduce the quality of the image if you're using, Photoshop or any other image editor. A lot of the times you can save your image with a less quality, but you want to make sure that you keep a good quality photo, because, as we mentioned before, having good images will increase the value of your page as well as the user experience of your page. When possible, use PNG files. They're a lot smaller than JPEGs, and they're a lot better for web. The last thing is to show thumbnails and link to the larger images if you can, if possible. This will allow it to load faster because you're showing thumbnails instead of the actual large image. And if they wanted to see the image larger, they could click it, and it won't ruin the user experience. So heading tags are another critical on-page SEO factor, and if you're not using heading tags in your website or content, then it's likely that you're not getting very good or much traffic from any search engines. The reason is because search engines use heading tags to determine what the topic is on a web page. H1 tags, or heading tags, are published in the HTML, and they range from H1 to H6. And H1 is the most important, and H6 is the least important. And it goes from H1, H2, H3, H4, H5, H6, from the most important to the least important content. And you should be using H1 tags on every single page only once. And I like to think of the heading tags as chapters of a book, and that easily allows a reader to scan the content and look for the section they're interested in and read that content, kind of break up the content by subheadings, main headings, etc. So your website structure, also a very important part of on-page SEO, and getting more visitors to your website from Google and other search engines. How you lay out your website and content can have a strong effect on where you rank, how you rank, and how Google crawls your website. So website structure, it's a few different ways why it's so important, a few different reasons why it's so important. One, like we've said before, is user experience. If people can navigate your site well and easily, and they can find what they want to find in 3 clicks or less, then your structure is laid out good, and it's likely that you'll have a good user experience, which will increase your rankings. And another reason is for Google itself. Having a good website structure helps Google and other search engines crawl your website better, faster, easier. If Google is unable to find your content from links on your pages, then it's not going to find it. So how a search engine crawler works is it finds one page and it follows links on that page to the next page, and it follows all the links on that next page to the next page until it can't go anymore. So if you aren't linking to all your deepest pages, and you have somewhat of a shallow structure, it's going to be able to more easily crawl your content and index it in Google. There's 4 things you need to remember when it comes to website structure. One is plan. Before even making your website, plan your structure out with a well-formed architectural that is very logical and simple and makes sense. You also want to keep it simple. Keep the number of categories between 2 and 7, and you should have relatable subcategories for each of the main categories. Kind of like this, the layout we have here of Tyton Media's website structure. You also want to remember to do internal linking. It's a very important part of your website structure. It allows the bots to better find and crawl your pages. Like we were mentioning before, if you don't link to those pages, the crawlers aren't going to find it. And lastly, having a shallow structure. A typical user should only have to click a maximum of 3 times to reach every single page on your website. If people need to click longer, it's likely they'll leave, and it's not a very good user experience. So, having a secure website is now a ranking factor by Google. They have actually said this themselves, that making your site HTTPS will be beneficial to your ranking. So HTTPS, for those that don't know, it stands for Hypertext Transfer Protocol Secure, and it's the web standard for secure communication between your browser and any server. And I'm sure that you've seen this before. Anytime that you check out or buy something online, you'll notice that the URL starts with HTTPS and there's a big green lockbox in the top, which means that the website is secure. And now having this on your website can actually give you a ranking advantage above your competitors. So Google provided these following tips to get started with HTTPS. You want to make sure that you use at least a 2048-bit key certificate, SSL certificate. And before even buying it, you want to decide the kind of certificate that you need. Is it a single certificate, multi-domain, or wildcard? These are things that you're going to want to know before making a purchase of an SSL certificate, if you purchase it. You also want to make sure that you use relative URLs for resources in your HTML, or you're going to get a mixed content flag, which is not good and will not be good for trust among your users if it prompts them that the website is not secure every time. Use protocol relative URLs for all other domains. So if you're linking to another domain, make sure that you link to the HTTPS version of the domain, or you'll get that insecure, non-secure content warning. You also want to remember not to block your site from being crawled. A lot of people make their site HTTPS secure, but don't realize that blocks with some settings that can block some of the crawl bots. So make sure that you aren't blocking those. You also want to remember to allow indexing of your pages by search engines wherever possible. Try to and avoid the no index robots made a tag so that your site gets indexed in Google. And that's it for HTTPS SSL. Alright, I just want to throw in this quick thing here. There's this new service called Let's Encrypt, and they offer free SSL certificates. It's pretty cool, pretty big deal. Pretty neat that we don't have to purchase expensive SSL certificates anymore. We can just use Let's Encrypt's API and secure our website for free. I recommend doing this for anybody because you can get that really simple boost from having a HTTPS site. So next is responsive web design. Google has also announced that having a responsive, mobile-friendly website is a ranking factor. And if they had to choose between a mobile-friendly site and a non-mobile-friendly site, they're going to rank the mobile-friendly site higher. So it's really important that your website works on any device, including tablets, mobile phones, desktops, laptops, TVs, whatever it is. Your website should be functional and laid out correctly in all of those devices. And this will give you a boost in the search engines as well. Not only from the good user experience that you'll receive, but from this on-page SEO factor that Google now uses. So to see if your website is mobile friendly, you can use the Google Webmaster Tools mobile friendly test. Pretty simple test. Just put your domain in there or your URL to whatever page you like, and it will tell you if the page is mobile friendly or not. So here's a little bit about what responsive web design is. Makes your device work on mobile, tablet, TV, desktop, anything. And that is the design standard as of 2016. If you're not using a mobile-friendly website, you're probably missing out on a lot of customers and a lot of potential leads that are leaving your site because it does not work on their device. Here are some reasons why you need a responsive website. As we said, it's good for SEO. Will increase your conversions and engagement. And it's a cool little stat here. 62% of companies that designed a website specifically for mobile had increased sales. So it's a pretty big number. And a lot of people using the internet on their mobile device are very picky now about the websites that they stay on. If it doesn't work on mobile, you're probably out of luck. So make sure that you have a responsive website, and you'll see a nice a boost in rankings from that as well. So internal linking, another important on-page SEO factor. Internal linking is linking from your internal pages to your other internal pages. So why would you want to do this? Well, it helps with both website navigation and user experience. When you link to all your internal pages, visitors can more easily navigate your site, find the content that they want, or the tools or the products. And it's also good for user experience, which will boost your rankings as well. Another reason that you want to use internal linking is just for the fact that it passes link juice from one page to another. And that link juice is important for gaining rankings in the search engines. It also defines the structure and architecture of your website. So as we talked before, the website structure and the internal linking go hand in hand, and you want to make sure that it only takes 3 clicks to get to every page on your website. Another reason is it can improve rankings for certain keywords. So if you use anchor text on one of your pages to link to another page, it's going to help that keyword's ranking in search engines. So the anchor text is the visible text of a link. Often it's blue and underlined, but depending on the CSS, it doesn't have to be. But this text is very important on what keywords you rank for and how you rank for them. So the idea is the more backlinks that you have to your website or internal links that you have to your website with a certain keyword will help you rank better for that keyword because it's telling Google what the page it's linking to is about. But you want to make sure that you don't just stuff a bunch of keywords in your anchor tags and link all crazy throughout your website. It should be a natural sentence fragment, and it should flow, and it shouldn't be filled with keywords and spammy. Google does not like that either. So no follow links. No follow is a tag that you put on the A tag that tells crawlers and bots not to pass any link juice to the link. So the reason that you would want to use this is for paid, if you're linking to paid websites or if you're linking to competitors. Some other reasons could be if you're linking to questionable sites or content, or if you're linking on the same page multiple times. So you don't want to be linking to a certain page a bunch without having a no-follow link on it. You want to keep that link juice flowing to your pages and try and stop it from flowing out as much as possible from your pages, which will increase the link juice of that page and increase the rankings of that page. So deep linking is another piece of internal linking that's important to think about. The deep part of deep linking refers to the content that is the most amount of clicks or the farthest amount of clicks away from your homepage. The reason you want to link to this deep content is both to increase the relevance of your website, raise the authority of your website, and build up the visibility of your website. Like we mentioned before, with the links, linking to all your content will help crawlers better crawl it, as well as increase the user experience of your website. We've pasted this cool little tool here at the bottom that you can click on and check out if you want. It's by SEO Review Tools. It's just an internal link analyzer. It tests your website's deep and internal linking structure to see if it's good or not. It's a great tool. I suggest checking it out. So the second to last thing that we're going to talk about today is website speed. Many business owners have no idea how important website speed is when it comes to on-page SEO, and also having a good user experience on your website. This is proven by this crazy fact we have here. 40% of people will leave a website if it takes more than 3 seconds to load. So if your website is taking more than 3 seconds to load, you need to figure out how to make it faster, because it's detrimental to ranking your website good in the search engines. So we got 5 ways here, 5 simple ways to increase your website speed and get it under that key 3-second time frame. So one is to leverage browser caching. It's a little more difficult to do if you aren't running on a CMS like WordPress, but you can possibly contact your host or server, and they might be able to turn on browser caching for you somewhat simply. If you're using WordPress, there's some really easy plugins that you can download. We use W3TC. It's W3 Total Cache plugin. It has all sorts of caching options and browser caching, and we've sped up our website at least 60 to 70% just by using that plugin. You should also be using a CDN to host your media files. A CDN is a content delivery network. Pretty much it's a really fast server that hosts your images and files, etc., that can load them from pieces onto your website, making them load faster. Some examples are like Mac CDN is a great company. Personally, we use Amazon AWS CloudFront to host all of our images, and that has helped increase our website speed a lot too. Another important part is removing or optimizing your slow loading scripts. So if you have JavaScript that's taking too long to load, or things like that, it's possible that you need to look at how that code was written, or how to speed it up a little bit. Combining that JavaScript and CSS into single files and minifying them will also help speed up your website. If you use W3 Total Cache with WordPress, it is possible to minify and combine using the plugin itself. And then number 5, of course, use W3 Total Cache for WordPress. It's a great tool for speeding up your website, just with a simple clicks of turning it on, and you'll see increased website speed. So last but not least is LSI Keywords. These are somewhat new in 2016, but a great on-page factor that not many people know about that you should definitely be using in all your pages. LSI keywords are latent semantic indexing keywords, and what they are is pretty much a synonym to a certain keyword that you search for in search engines like Google. So if you want to see some examples, LSI keywords, just perform a simple search in Google and go to the bottom, and you'll see searches related to whatever your keyword was. So here we have an example of some LSI keywords that we found when searching for web design. You can see that there's web design software, web design company, web design tutorial, and these are kind of long tail keywords that are kind of the long tail similar keywords to the one you search that are good to use in your content to pick up those other searches that people are making. So we have some important pieces down here at the bottom. And lastly, we have using Google Keyword Planner. This is also another great way to find some good LSI keywords. Just type in a keyword in there, and they'll show you what people also search for, similar to the one search that you made. And you should sprinkle those keywords into your pages or content, and that will allow you to pick up some other ranking positions for some different keywords that you may have not been ranking for before. So wrapping up, we've talked about a lot today. Hopefully you've learned some on-page SEO strategies, and if you like our content, don't forget to subscribe to our channel. We're always posting new stuff. You can also follow us on Facebook, LinkedIn, Twitter, Google. We got it all. We'd love to get your likes and comments, and hope that you have learned some good tips and that you can incorporate these on your site. If you have any questions, don't hesitate to comment below, and have a good day.